Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another Vlog Thursday style video. I'm here in the studio and the lights are actually focused down on the table right now instead of on me, which is why I look kind of weird and why the room looks kind of strange. The reason they're focused on the table is because I'm going to take this pack off and show it to you here in a second. This is a bug out bag breakdown. I'm going to open this bag up and show you all the contents, talk about sort of the theory and the idea behind this type of bug out bag, what I'm using it for, etc. And also, during the course of that, talk a little bit about the bag itself, which is the new Vanquest Falconer 27, a 27-liter backpack that is really outstanding. They just actually announced the name of it today. Like this video and a handful of others that you're going to see on YouTube today are the videos announcing the name. Up to this point, it's been called the Project F backpack. And in fact, here's a little anecdote. As I turn and kind of show you the backpack and kind of rotate and show you all sides of it, while I was down at SHOT Show, I visited the Vanquest booth, saw some of their gear, had a great booth visit. This is one of the packs that I looked at and was really impressed with, and a lot of people were impressed with it. And I shot some video of this, but they actually asked me, don't include this pack in your video, please, because it's not done and we're not ready to announce it. So I said, I obliged, and I did not include it in the video. But then, as it turned out, the next day they sent me a text message and said, actually, we'd love for you to include that pack in your video. Too late, I had already posted it. So they said, come back to the booth if you have a chance, get a standalone video of this pack if you'd like to, and post that for us because people are loving it and they want to know about this pack. That's what kind of an awesome reception this pack got, and you'll understand why as I get into it and show you some of the features. But that's just a little bit of a tidbit, a little anecdote to let you know that this pack has actually had a ton of interest ever since people got the first glimpses of it at SHOT Show. And I think as I open it up and show you the contents, you'll start to see why. So let's get into it. Let's show you some of the Project F pack, also known as the Falconer 27. Open this up, show you how I've set it up as a bug out bag, talk to you about why I've set it up as I have, the intent of it, etc., etc. Let's turn you down to the table. We're doing this all in one cut if I possibly can. So here it is on the table. We might even zoom in just slightly. You guys are going to have to put up with a little bit of camera shakiness, etc., because once again we're shooting this Vlog Thursday style. No editing, just want to get it done and get it out. We're looking good there? I think we are. Okay, so the Falconer 27. Once again, this was called the Project F pack. That's what it was temporarily referred to as until they released the name. And here's the tag that came with this particular pack, and you can see on there, Falconer 27, 27-liter backpack. All right, so go to vanquest.com, or yeah, there it is, www.vanquest.com, and check them out on YouTube and Facebook, obviously. To get a closer look at it, to see the price of it, it is not a cheap pack. None of their stuff is exceptionally cheap, but it's all outstanding quality, and I think you'll agree with that as you start to see it. Since we're on the outside of the pack and in this, in this pouch here, I might as well talk about it. So we've got a little shock cord out here, able to strap some things down right here. You got obviously one little strip of Velcro for a patch, whatever you want, some identification, stuff like that. On the inside of this one, we've got a little bit of an opening here. You can stick some paperwork or other things right there. Clearly I've got some 5-hour energy, and I think that kind of speaks for itself. Why would you have 5-hour energy in a go bag and something that you're going to use as a potential 72-hour or maybe more kind of a kit? I think it makes sense why you would put a couple of these in there, at least a few of them. Some of this goo, some flavored goo. Runners like to use this. My wife's a runner, so she's got a few of these hanging around the house. So I threw a couple of those in there. Again, these are mainly for energy, kind of quick, on-the-go stuff that you might pull some of that out, get some quick energy going, and get yourself moving. Also some pepper spray, pretty much because it fits in this spot. And we've got these little, as you can see, kind of elastic slots to hold some of this stuff. We've also, because it fits well in here, we've got some water purification tablets. I think you can see that there. Some Gold Bond. If you're a dude and you sweat, you probably know why this is handy. Again, gonna be moving a lot, gonna be doing a lot, it's nice to have stuff like that when cleanup is not an option. So that's what I've got in sort of this first outside pouch. I also got one of these little night eyes tools on here because they're light, they're simple, and they can come in really handy. It's got a little ruler on it. Sure, a lot of reasons why that could come in handy. Before we get any further, what is the purpose of this pack? What is the idea behind it? We need to talk about that. The idea behind this is, the concept is bugging out from my house. So this is a pack I would keep handy at home, ready to go at home. And guys, please stick around for the duration because there's some pretty interesting stuff in here. I think you'll enjoy looking at the contents of this pack. But this is one where, let's say there's a natural disaster, a wildfire, a flood, what have you, some reason why evacuation is a very good idea from the home. And it's short notice, unplanned, we just got to get out of there, you know, and we don't know what's coming up next, we don't know how long we'll be gone. This is just some stuff that'll get me by. No luxury items. Again, this is a 27-liter pack. It is not weighed, or not packed to be extremely heavy. Gosh, 25, less than 30 pounds, I'm pretty sure in here. Haven't weighed it to tell you the truth. But this, again, is not meant to be like a luxury item pack. This is meant to be get the job done, survive, be okay for a few days. So that's kind of the idea there. This is not supposed to be a wilderness pack, or at least that is to say, contents-wise, it's not meant to be survival in the wilderness. It's meant to be kind of taken off with my family, and who knows if we can drive, who knows if we need to walk, but we've got some of the essential gear with us in this, or at least I do for me, and there'll be additional packs for the kids, for the wife, etc. So that's the concept there. There's, again, all kinds of concepts in regards to bug out. Maybe you might have one that's designed to get you home from work or from any other situation, or, you know, leaving and actually going out of the wilderness. There are lots of different ideas about bug out packs. This is the specific idea that I have for mine, okay? Now let's get into some of the inside contents. What do we have here on this pouch? And there's so many layers to this bag. That's why I just love this. Before we attack this any further, the straps there, you had to look at the straps. But on this strap I've got, looks like the Leatherman Tread. Great tool. And the pouch, I can't tell you where I got that from. It's just a hand-me-down or something. But then coming to this outside pouch right here, which zips open on either side, we go and get my gloves. Okay, and this is a pair of gloves that I've used a tiny bit, not very much, and so they dedicate pretty well to a kit like this. These are some of those mechanics wear impact gloves, nice and durable. You can see some dirt on them, or maybe some sawdust or something. But good spot for the gloves, I think, right on the outside. So if I've got some actual work to do, some actual, you know, whether it be on a car or helping somebody or lifting, you know, helping somebody clear some debris or something like that, I've got that readily accessible. While we're there, move to this outside pouch. And this whole area right here I could definitely utilize more. But we got like a trash bag, a smaller trash bag, things like that. And there's definitely more I could put in on here, obviously, with some of that shock cord holding it down, this sort of ladder stitch going on up here. A lot I could do with that. Again, we won't touch on everything this pack can do because this is more about the breakdown of a bug out bag than anything else today. But as I show you all this, you'll get to get familiar with some of the features. Some hot hands, because these always come in helpful or useful or handy, and keep you warm, keep you comfortable. Again, you got to anticipate. It could be cold weather, it could be hot weather, but I would say plan on being uncomfortable one way or another. Helping yourself get a little warm. If you're wet or something, definitely useful. And here we've got some glow sticks, got a couple of those. We've got a notepad right here, a pencil, it's unsharpened currently. We've got some zip ties, because who doesn't need zip ties? There's so many connection and attachment purposes for zip ties that if I've got them, definitely include them. In here we've got a big first aid kit. I won't do a complete breakdown of that. It's all rubber banded together, and sorry about the kind of very bright, maybe blown out white that you're seeing right here. I'm trying to capture all the detail I can of the contents here. But we've got, yeah, we've got some trauma pads. We've got lots of stomach stuff in here. I don't know if you can see that, but lots of different pills. Okay, we got stuff for diarrhea, for constipation. We've got stuff for sleeping, for staying awake. We've got all kinds of stuff in here. Pain. We've got soap in here. We've got hand sanitizer, energy, other things, scissors in there, all kinds of stuff. It's a decent little first aid kit. Not the most extravagant, not the most detailed or built out, but I think it'll get the job done for most situations, most small situations, so hopefully that'll be adequate. And that does it for that little pouch. And let's move on, undo these snaps here, and let's see what's on the next level. There's so many levels to this bag. It just keeps going and going and going. And so as we open this up here, what we've got on the inside, we've got a little shemagh right here. Keep that pretty handy because that's a great layering system right there. Good for so many things, as you all know. This is a little, what is this? Recon wrap, I think is what that's called. And that'll be great for covering your mouth, your face, stuff like that if you have to, if there's dust, debris, and you don't want to get all that going. So and that could be also a sun covering, etc., etc. So there's a lot of, sort of dual use for these two things. A little bit of redundancy there, but good redundancy in my opinion. In here, we've got a little bit of cordage, a little bit of 550 cord here. We've also got some trioxane fuel. We've got a little fire kit or fire starter right there, as well as I think we have a lighter and then one more. Definitely some redundant fire making capabilities in there. And again, the cordage is pretty much thrown in there because it's handy and there's a little bit of extra space in there. There's a little that little pouch right there on the top. It's really handy, and yeah, it's great. It's kind of a lightweight ripstop material there, and you can see this here as well. This kind of opens up, and that's kind of how I have all that stuff tucked up in there. Really cool so far. I like it. Let's get the hot hands back in there because I need those to be put away. This bag needs to be ready. What am I thinking, leaving stuff out? Forget that. This video's over. The bag is going to be right back together. Okay, the UV. What is it called? UV5R. There it is from Baofeng. It's a very simple, very cheap radio. If you've got a ham radio license, this is one to keep handy. And it's not going to be the most fancy, the most feature-rich, but it gets the job done. And yeah, at an extremely good price, like 30, 35 bucks, something like that. So easy to dedicate that to a pack, to a kit. The SOG, what is this again? The Seal, what is that? Shoot, what is it called? Seal Spark? I don't know, man. You saw a video on this recently. Seal Strike. That's it, the Seal Strike. So you guys saw a video from me on this knife recently. I like it a lot. It's a great one, and it's light, very light. So it's very capable, but you can add it to a pack like this without the cost of a lot of extra weight. So there's those two pieces. The Noco X-Grid XGS4 is going to help me recharge a few items, for instance, like my iPhone. And you never know, the grid may be down. I may not be able to get good reception with from the cell network or data or whatever. But if I can keep that thing alive, there are a whole lot of good apps on there, including a compass app and other things that can help me out of a jam. Okay, so whether the cell network and so forth is up or not, being able to recharge electronic devices is great. It could also be a good bartering tool. If somebody else doesn't know how to or can't get something recharged, whatever the device is, this could help them out. Also, with the right cable, I could recharge my radio. So there's that. In these couple of pouches right here, let's see what we have. Mainly, this is all keeping yourself clean. We got a little bit of oh yeah, this keeps like mosquitoes away, and there's some, I think, anti-sting stuff in here, some sunscreen. What do you call this stuff? Sun X or something like that. Anyway, a little bit of sunscreen in there, some bug repellent, some body towels, some wet ones, some tissue. Again, this is all sort of keeping yourself clean, going to the bathroom, etc. And that is all there is in that pouch right there. So we'll go ahead and Velcro that one back shut. And down in here, let's see if I can get that. There we go. Down in here, we've got a couple of things in here, a couple of important items in there. We've got a light right here. This is the Streamlight Polytac. I've decided this is not a great weapon light, but it is still very, very bright, and it is on a Streamlight sort of a headband thing. This is designed to go on like work helmets and things like that, hard helmets or hard hats. But it also works fine going over a hat and holding that, turn that into a headlamp. So decided to dedicate it to this pack. There it is. Now we've also got inside here some brightly colored paracord. Why would we go brightly colored? Why not? I mean, hopefully we're not trying to hide. This is not really the idea here. Hopefully we're not doing that. But if we need some cordage, and we have some green stuff back in there that I showed you earlier, some olive green stuff, but this stuff would be great for just kind of general use. Strapping stuff onto the pack, I don't know, rigging some other sort of carry rig of some sort. A little bit of duct tape, also good for all types of uses. It's kind of an older roll, but it works great. So there's a little bit of that stuff in there too. So duct tape, rope, and what's in here? Let's see what's in here. These are a couple of items that I think are pretty important. Number one, some spare batteries for the flashlight that I showed you here. But that's not all. Also got a big wad of cash. Okay, around 200 bucks. And yes, the plan is to actually dedicate $200, keep it in here. I'd put more in there if I could afford it, and I might be able to afford it later, but the idea is to have a decent amount of cash that will get you out of most jams, and I think 200 bucks is a start, if nothing else. So again, might put more in there later on, but $200, or some cash I should say, is going to help you out in a lot of ways, in my opinion. So I think keeping some amount of cash in your bug out bag is a great idea. So there's that. And one thing I considered doing was putting silver in here. That's only really meaningful or useful if the problem you're facing is collapse of the monetary system. And not to say that's unlikely, but that's just not what I'm going for with this pack. So I don't think we'll weigh ourselves down with anything like silver or gold or hard commodities. You could also say that almost everything in here, if I don't use it for its intended purpose, is tradable, barterable. So I could be bartering things and getting some value that way. Now, as we move into the main compartment right here, which has these two great big rings on it. I don't know who makes these, but they're great. They're big and they're rubber and they're tough, and they look good. I like this too. I love that they've got this angle to the zipper. See this? Followed around down like this. That means that it doesn't just come straight down. It kind of it requires you to think about what you're doing. From this point on, to get it down, you've got to pay attention. So you can also do this, just kind of pull it, and the whole thing will come undone, which is sweet. And there's the main compartment there. Let's start with this. You've got all this soft Velcro here, this loop side Velcro that you can easily attach things onto. This could be a weapon system, it could be magazine pouches, it could be any number of things that you can Velcro stuff onto. You could obviously stitch some hook side Velcro onto whatever you have and then stick it onto that if you want to pre-plan in that way. You've also got this compartment here that opens on both sides. Inside of that, I have a shirt that I don't wear much anymore, made of nylon if I remember right. So that will be good in all weather, in all conditions. If I get it wet, it dries quickly. That's just a good layer. Okay, so whatever I happen to be wearing, I've got an extra long sleeve shirt I can throw on to keep myself a little warm, a little more protected from the sun, whatever it might be. We've got a big bottle of water, an Nalgene bottle with, a full 1 liter in there. Okay, 1 liter of Nalgene. Plus we've got this little, I think it's steel or is it aluminum? I think it's an aluminum cup made by Camp. Anyway, this came as a set from Blade HQ a few years ago. My wife got me this for Christmas, if I remember right. Came in a set like this, and it's great. So it nests inside of there. You've got a way to make yourself something to eat or purify, boil some water, plus also carry some water around. And I've got another water carriage situation that I'll show you, or system that I'll show you here in a little bit. A little bit of a foil blanket. This is actually a foil sleeping bag, so that'll help you out if you have to sleep on the ground or something like that. And here we have a change of socks and a change of undies because comfort. and that would be really nice, right? Keep your feet dry, keep yourself a little comfortable. There's a poncho, probably don't need it, it's redundant, but again, either trading or giving to somebody else, or using in a real downpour situation as kind of a redundant system. We'll pull out these other pieces here real quick. What we have here is the, what is this called again? The brand is not coming to me, but this is like a tarp slash poncho cover. It's got little handholds on it. Where are they? Anyway, it's got a hood and little handholds that help you turn this into basically kind of a poncho that just wraps around in the front. It's open in the front. Then you can also, I've built a shelter with this before, a small shelter, mind you, but if I needed to curl up under this, inside of this, maybe partially covered by this, I could probably keep myself pretty rainproof and somewhat comfortable. So there's a plan. By combining different things, I can, be somewhat comfortable, and that's good. We've got a whole bunch of food here. Okay, all dry food. So this is stuff that's not going to spoil quickly. If I needed to, if I left this in the house, not in the garage or someplace that's not climate controlled, or in a car not necessarily, but someplace where it's somewhat climate controlled, and you can probably expect this stuff to not go bad for a good while. We've got nuts in here. We've got granola bars, chocolate granola bars. We've got trail mix. We've got ramen noodles in here. We've got a handful of other dry goods, dry foods in here that can keep you going for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. Now, you'll have to use this stuff wisely and be careful about how much you consume and what you share and so forth, but you could definitely stretch this out over 3 days if that's what you had to do. So that's the idea there, and it all fits in this one pouch. I think I picked this pouch up from, I want to say Cabela's. No, that's not correct. Yeah, no, there it is, Cabela's. So I did pick it up from Cabela's. I think I picked up 3 of them at once, and they're all these kind of this large size pouch. Anyway, so I got a few of those, and that's actually what this is too. That's where the clothes are. Is another one of those pouches. All right, so we've got everything to show you there. I think that's everything. Oh wait, this is one treat you got to see. This is one I'm excited to show you. I showed you this a long time ago. This is a camera bag that I've modified. Picked this bag up at like a thrift store and decided it'd be the perfect size to hold my Glock 26 if I could modify it to hold it in a secure way, which I did. It doesn't hold the Glock 26 anymore. Now it holds, we'll go ahead and clear this sucker because the chamber's not loaded, and that's intentional, but the magazine is. This is the P83 Vanquest Makarov style pistol. Shoots 9mm Makarov. All right, picked this up or received this for testing from J&G Sales, and they've got it for right now, I think, for $200. I don't know if that sale is still going on. It was a little over 200, maybe 250 before, and then it went down to about $200. That was an amazing price. That's a great deal for a gun that you could dedicate to a system like this. Now, it's not the lightest, certainly not the lightest, but I've packed this pack around a little bit, went for a good hike with it, and found it to be easily packable, balanced well, not a bad weight, definitely a good pack. The weight was right. And so I think that this gun, which is really interesting, and I'm going to be showing you some shooting and some reviewing of this gun in the future, but it's basically like a sheet metal frame. That's amazing to me. I'll talk more about that when I actually do the review. But yeah, there's some markings on it to give you a feel for what it is and where it came from. All right, very cool. And yeah, shot it a little bit, gonna shoot it lots more. It's got some Hornady critical defense in there in 9mm Makarov, 8 rounds in this magazine, and a spare magazine in the pouch. Okay, all ready to go, ready to rock. As I said before, this is going to be dedicated to this kit, and it is going to be set up in a way that it is not loaded, not with the chamber anyway. Now, if the crap hit the fan in whatever capacity it did, in order for me to use this pack in the way that I need to use it, well then certainly I would take this gun out of the pouch, load it before I get into public and start walking around, then probably take the pouch out and attach that to my belt. And there's one piece of this pack that I actually forgot to bring, that I actually took off of the pack, is a waist belt. It comes with a really nice, really robust waist belt, waist strap. So you could easily attach something like this to the strap, or I could anyway, because of because I made it and I can use it that way. And then have that walking around, pack on your back, this on your front. Nobody's the wiser. It looks like a camera bag. It looks like a little electronics bag. Nobody's going to say, oh, it looks like he's got a gun on his belt, unless they're wise like you and me. And then they might. And good for them, because that means they're probably good, aware, prepared people. All right, but that's what I got in the main compartment. We're going to go ahead and start moving some of this stuff back in, and I'm going to show you one last good piece, a good, what do I call it? Component that I added to this pack that I think is wise if you have the means to do it. We'll go ahead and zip this sucker back up, and I'll show you what that last component is, because I think I need to access the inner pocket, which is kind of a concealed area, or it's also good for one other main thing, and I'll show you what that is shortly. We are, as I said before, trying to do all this in one cut. All right, so let's get to that. Here it is. And don't you love this? Don't you love the fact that it's this cool gray and look at all that mesh? That'll be perfect. I mean, the sweat does not stick to this pack. Okay, it comes right off because of this mesh. Both on the straps as well as on this back, which they breathe just excellently. Okay, you got a little whistle on here, but I didn't point that out before. So that's a nice little signal device as well. So here it is. Here's the last piece, the last component. That is, there, you can see it, can't you? Yep, it's a Camelback Bladder. That is a 3-liter Camelback Bladder. It looks like it'll fit in there just fine, hold all the water it needs to. That means that if I get into a situation where I can collect more water than that 1 liter will hold, than I can hold otherwise, I can fill up that bladder. And then I've got, you know, a day or two's worth of water if I conserve, or if I share. So that's great, man. That's fantastic, and that's a really smart thing to do, I think, if you're going to have a pack like this and you've got room for some kind of a water bladder. Include the bladder. Don't fill it up because you'll stretch it out and it'll leak and all that other stuff. But include the empty bladder and have that ready to go to fill up if you reach a water source that will allow you to replenish and fill up in that way. So there's so much more I can say about this pack. I want to keep it a little bit short, and we have gone long. We're nearly half an hour in. But that is basically it, guys. That is basically the go bag. I've got a little S-beaner on here. This is a little carriage system that I set up to use by sticking the knife in here and connecting it to there and connecting it to the knife. I decided not to keep it that way. I like to keep everything on the inside if I possibly can, as much as I can on the inside. That way I'm not kind of giving away what it is I'm carrying, you know? If I've got stuff strapped to the outside and it's very clear that I've got a giant knife or machete on the outside, you know, people are like, oh, look at that guy, he's got a machete. And then you know, that doesn't increase the low profile factor. I like having that, having the luxury of a low profile. So that's just, that's my feeling on it. Got some drainage grommets down here, etc. Again, I could talk all about the features on this pack, but we're going to keep it short today, as short as we can, 30 minutes in. But that's basically it, and I definitely recommend that you check out this pack at vanquest.com. They sent me this one, obviously, for testing and review. More testing and review to come, for sure, but I wanted to show you how I set this up as my get out of house bag, get out of Dodge bag, for the event when there is some sort of like I said, natural disaster or other disaster or event in which, you know, in an unexpected fashion, I gotta throw this on and just get out of the house and be gone for a few days or however long it takes. You could set this up in any number of ways, as a go bag, as a simple hiking bag for sure, but it's so robust and so well thought out and so expandable that I really think, you know, the money you're going to spend on this, which is well over 100, over 150 if I remember right, you're going to want to use this for something of this sort, you know, an emergency pack like this of some sort, because it's so well compartmentalized and it opens up so fully and so easily, and all those little pockets and things are so easy to access that it lends itself so well to this type of use. So I definitely recommend that you check it out. Vanquest.com. You can check this thing out today. Once again, it's called the Falconer 27. It's a really sweet bag, formerly known as the Project F. I'm late Boy Scout for that bug out bag download, and thanks very much for watching this sort of vlog style. It's been kind of long, but I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see y'all later. Take care.